everybody, welcome to the Fairy Vibrant Makeup channel. Today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. As you can see, I have some light. This is actually it was my Reiki mirror that I had gotten for, what did I get it for? Oh, I think it was top performer for Brow Bar at my old work at Ulta, so comes in handy. So I'm going to be using it as my ring light for this because I wanted to do it in a corner where I have my band banners showing and my painting that my sister made. So this is going to be a album review for my music. So if you can't tell by my shirt, today's going to be DragonForce. So if you don't know, I had gone to see DragonForce in Denver before, literally right before all the shit hit the fan for this whole pandemic thing. So me and my husband, we did this decision on a whim. We're just like, you know what, we're just gonna do it. Let's do it. So we ended up going to, we went online. I bought the tickets. They were only 20 bucks because I just wanted general admission. And I was so excited because it was going to be Visions of Atlantis, Unleash the Archers, and DragonForce as the headliner. Now, I have seen DragonForce, I think that was my third time, so this is my third time. So I was really excited because I got to see them with Camelot. I got to see them with, I got to see them by themselves in Albuquerque with my best friend. So she went with me and got to check them out. So yeah, I wanted to do album reviews so that you guys know another side of me. I am definitely a huge metal lover. Of course, while I'm in quarantine, I want to be able to give those of you that like this type of music a little something different, you know. I want to show my passion for metal. I really do. So I decided to do something like this because I could listen to metal all day, every day. I'm a huge fan. So anyways, let me tell you about my first experience with DragonForce, and that was hearing them. I'm not gonna lie, I think I heard Operation Ground and Pound first, and I really liked that song, so I actually had that song on my old iPod. And then I ended up hearing about their them being on Guitar Hero. My little sister was so huge into Guitar Hero, she decided to just try and play it. So everyone was talking about it, and that's when they kind of really became popular. I do remember on Guitar Hero, I do give them props for putting Amber and Dawn on there. The River of Tioni, love that song. But I was like, yeah, these guys are awesome. So when I first saw them and was able to see them in concert was actually when I saw Camelot. Oh, I have my poster. What was that? 2015. So 2015, I was able to see Camelot, and I believe that was the first that we were living. Yeah, it was the first year we were living in Denver, and we got to see them. We had my in-laws come up and take care of the kids while me and my husband went just to downtown Denver. So it was really convenient. That's what I loved about being in Denver, is I was able to see bands that I know. So I was like, yes, I can actually see my bands without having to travel to Phoenix, because we used to go to Phoenix and see them there. It's because we've seen Nightwish, we've seen Camelot a few times, Delane a lot of times. So we wanted to see Camelot one more time because I think I always got VIP so that I can meet the bands. So I'm always loving that because I get to take pictures with them, you get posters, all that stuff. So anyways, that was my first time seeing them in concert, and then they actually came to frickin' Albuquerque. It was last year, 2019, I believe. Yeah. So I think it was in October. Yeah, it was October, and I was all excited. So I asked my best friend if she wanted to go with me because you know, my husband has to stay with the kids, and he actually had to go to bed early because of his work. So I just decided to do that, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. The two bands that opened were not so fun, but I've never heard of Killstar. and I have no idea what the other band is because they were ridiculous to me. I'm very picky about my bands. So they were a lot of fun. So I really had a lot of fun at that concert, and then I heard they were coming to North America again, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. So I was just kind of like playing it off. I'm like, it's in Denver. I don't want to have to go travel to Denver. But then my husband's like, let's do it. Let's go. So the tickets were only $20. I didn't want to get VIP. I should have gotten VIP because they had light up swords and it was so cool. But nonetheless, I did have a good seat and I really did have a lot of fun. So I did not want to be like in the floor because I do not like to get mosh pitted because I'm getting old. I don't want to do that. So anyways, we got to see them. And they did an awesome show. I got to meet Clementine from Visions of Atlantis at the merch table. She was really, really sweet. She's the lead singer in Visions of Atlantis. They have two singers. It's her and then another guy. And that other guy is actually in Temperance that I found out. So it's another band. So a lot of bands do that. They like to kind of have bands on the side. And then, of course, my favorite band, which is the banner in the background, Unleash the Archers. I love them. They're based out of Canada, and Brittany Slays is probably the best vocalist live I've ever heard in my life. She's super awesome. So if you haven't seen Unleash the Archers or haven't heard their music, you need to check them out. And then I was so excited because I heard they were going to have the arcade machines. Now, I'll explain the arcade machines, but the arcade machines they put in on their stage. So they're actual huge arcade machines, and they had in the back an actual like visual that it was a picture. Oh my gosh, I can't find the words. It was it had like a lot of like visual stuff, like DragonForce comes out, and it was just like a lot of like retro stuff. Is very pixelated. It was a screen in the back, so it was, and they had confetti. When they like started, the confetti flew everywhere. They had laser lights. It was awesome. So it was a lot of fun. So DragonForce does put on a very, very good show. So the reason for the arcade machines is that their album is very retro based. So that's what I loved about their album. It's very arcade, retro 80s, and video game themed. And I love that because, you know, it has a lot of fun to it. They do a lot of like very high powered type of albums, and this one was probably my favorite one that they've done. So their album is called Extreme Power Metal. It was released in 2019. And by the way, DragonForce is based out of the UK, so I love bands that are not from America. So anyways, let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this iPod. I'm not super fancy, people. But I'm gonna do little clips of my favorite parts of the songs. You judge for yourself if you want to pick up the album. I highly recommend it. So let's go with the first song, which is called Highway to Oblivion, and that was their first single from the album. So it starts off really, really slow. Oh, and I want to mention real quick, their keyboardist, they had a keyboardist before, but he's no longer with the band. Their keyboardist for this album was actually Cohen from Epica. So he's the piano player for Epica. I cannot talk today. I'm just all over the place. I'm so excited about sharing this with you. Alright, so this is Highway to Oblivion, and you'll hear a lot of synthesizing in this album. There's a lot of synthesizers. So it starts off very slow.
When the lights have turned to gray, on the dawning final day, see the sun now fade away.
His voice is so good. Mark Hudson, he's the lead singer.
Can we find the words to say? All the times we fought in vain, through the years years and seasons change, but we all still feel the same as we stand before the
I love the beginning. Typical DragonForce once it gets into the song, but I love it. Like builds, and that's when the confetti happened. It was so cool. So it's very fast paced. So if you don't know DragonForce, they're very, very fast paced. They have a lot of complicated guitar sounds, and they have a lot of complicated drum sounds. Even the bass looks very complicated. Even Mark Hudson's voice gets very complicated. That's what I love about this. It's very complex in the way that they do fast paced type of song, and it has extreme guitar riffs. So I'm going to skip ahead to the song. One sec. So I don't know how I can clear that. Anyways, I really, really love the fact that this song is super fast paced. We're just going to continue, I guess. I love this part. So anyways, I'm not going to play the entire song because that would be ridiculous. So that is Highway to Oblivion. We're going to skip on to the next one, which is one of my favorite songs as well. This is Cosmic Power of the Infinite Shred Machine. So this one is very, very unique. It has the synthesizers really in this song, and I want to show you that part because it's super cool, but I'll show you the beginning first. So already you could hear the synthesizers. So you have already that typical DragonForce sound there, but I'm going to skip ahead. Ooh. Ooh, I skipped too far. I want you to hear. I love his voice, it's very good. This is my favorite part because you will hear the synthesizers. That's a nice beat. Very 80s, I love it. Colin's so talented. This is a great addition to DragonForce. He's not part of the band, but then you start getting in to the guitar slowly through this whole bit. There you go. And that's mainly based off of Skyrim, which is a game. I don't play this game. I don't really know much about this game. So this is from the Elder Scrolls, I believe they said. They always explain why they created this song on stage. So they love video games, and this is one of their favorite. I think it's their favorite either marks. I can't remember what they said, but their favorite video game to play. So this one's called The Last Dragonborn. And it's very different, slower too. This is really cool to see on stage too. And I know, like, right now it's not the best time, but honestly, like, if you can't go see a concert, at least go on YouTube and see it again, because I miss those days. I hope everything clears up so that we can go back to seeing these shows. Because these guys make money, you know, they make money. This is their living. This is something that they love to do as well. So, I'm skipping ahead. This is really fun. So it's very slow. It's slow for DragonForce, of course, but it's interesting and very it's kind of like a ballad, but not. So I really like this song. I was very impressed with this song. Alright, so the next song is my favorite song off the album, and this one reminds me of the 80s so much. Even like the little details in this song that you'll hear remind me of the 80s, and it's perfect. It's very, and even the video. I'll link all of their videos down below so that you guys can check them out. So this one's called Heart Demolition. I love this song. This always makes me happy. And it slows down.
Sometimes I wonder if love has a meaning. Feels like the sadness won't end.
It's about heartache and heartbreak. So fun. It's like the best song ever. Such a good song. There's another part. I'm trying to get the... Let me see. Sorry. This part. I think it's this part. Yeah. Has that little like synthesizer piece. That's what I wanted you to hear. Okay, so moving on. This is actually a song that I didn't get at first when I first heard it, and then I was listening to it closely. I was like, wait a minute. I know what movie this is. So this is actually Starship Troopers. If you don't know what Starship Troopers are, It's a cheesy sci-fi movie. It's not that cheesy, really. It's actually pretty good. It's my husband's favorite movie. It's got Casper Van Dyne. Van Dyne. He was a heartthrob back then. Denise Richards and Neil Patrick Harris in it. So this one was, of course, about going, you know, they went fighting bugs in space. So it's a really like crazy movie. It's really, really futuristic. So I did not realize that the beginning of the song says Rascar's Roughnecks in it. So I was like, wait a minute, did he just say that? So this one's about, I think it's a homage, you know, nod to Starship Troopers. So. So you can hear it. So this one is very like fast paced. Yeah, that's so funny. The Save the Federation. So yeah, it's about Starship Troopers. Super cool. I love that nod. Alright, so the next song is called Razorblade Meltdown. This is actually my kid's favorite song. It's my daughter's. She had it on her iPod. Or was it her phone? I can't remember. But, oh, her Spotify. I don't know why I was even doing that. But they love the cartoon video. You'll see. I'll link it down below. But it's like a cartoon type video. And it's hilarious. So this one's called Razorblade Meltdown. This is their third single that they came out with. Skip ahead. This is my favorite part. This one's a good part. This is another good piano piece. And of course we have those amazing guitars. You have to see Herman Lee and Sam live. They are freaks of nature. I don't know how they do this, but they're awesome. And actually, Herman Lee does have a Twitch account where you can follow him and he kind of plays. And he also posts it on his YouTube account. I'll link that down below so you can check out his super awesome guitar playing skills. Alright, next is Strangers. It's actually more of an 80s vibe song to me. I did like it. So,
danger zone, underneath the blind city lights, lost and far away from home. Inside I got a burning fire, no one here to set me free. Wasting time, I've been longing for more, but we were strangers in a city burning, strangers in the night.
So you can hear that kind of like 80s vibe to it. It's really, really cool. I do like that one. In a Skyforged Dream is my next one. Sorry, I'm kind of like really going through these fast. So in a Skyforged Dream, I really didn't hear as much. I feel like it's nothing new and different from DragonForce. I do like the fast pace though. So I like this song, but I feel like it's a little, like, to me it's kind of like not unique like the other songs are. So that one's okay. So this one's actually pretty cool. This one they wrote to kind of honor those who serve. So I really thought that was interesting and really, really fun. At the Albuquerque show, they kind of poked fun at Sabaton. So I was like, hey, don't do that. Sabaton's one of my favorite bands too. So, okay, so this is Remembrance Day, and it's very, very different from any DragonForce song. It's like a march, you know, kind of like a... So I really like that they were like, raise your phones in the air or your lighters or whatever that light up. So it was very like, you know, kind of like a very special moment that they had with the audience. It's probably one of their slowest songs. Very beautiful song. I feel like that's an amazing song, tribute to anybody that's serving in the military. I really like that. Last song. So this last song surprised me. I was like, I know they've done some cover songs. They did Ring of Fire in album, and it surprised me. It was actually not something I was expecting to ever be covered by a metal band ever. I love when metal bands cover a song from the past. Or even songs that you never thought would be in the metal scene. So I feel like it's funny and it's enjoyable. So this one is actually reminds me of 8th grade because that's when this song came out. So this one is from the most popular movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in. I bet you can't guess what I'm about to say. Titanic. So the Celine Dion song, My Heart Will Go On, they did a cover of. Super cool, but the beginning is what I want you to listen to. This is probably my favorite part. Alright, so this is My Heart Will Go On. Very 80s. Very video game. And then this is insane live too. It's really fun.
Every night in my dreams I see you, I feel you. That's how I know you go on. Far across the distance and spaces between. You have got to show you go on. Feel far wherever you are. I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
Oh my gosh, that song's so freaking awesome. So, I want you to listen to this album by purchasing it from iTunes or even going onto their website and purchasing the album if you want an actual CD. If you don't know what a CD is, I don't know where you've been living. So anyways, that is the complete taste of extreme power metal. So here are my overall thoughts. So when I first heard extreme power metal, I heard the singles first. So I fell in love with Highway to Oblivion, absolutely fell in love with it. I love the Tron type of vibe video feel like gives you, so I really liked that. And then they came out with Heart Demolition, and I was like, whoa, this is super catchy, and it gets stuck in your head. And I just want to dance to it. Metal doesn't make me dance, but I was just like, this is so like 80s and very like nostalgic and very fun and kid-like. I love the fact that it has video games tied into it, so it makes the gaming scene have like this type of music that's a nod to what gamers like. So I really love the fact that my husband did appreciate at the show that they played a guitar riff, Mark Hudson did, of Castlevania. So that was really cool. So it kind of brings all us nerds together and really, really picks up the vibe, and it's extremely fast-paced throughout the entire album. So I really loved the fact that this album had so much to offer and had such a different vibe to it. Now, the albums that I do have on my iPod, because I'm not going to say I'm an actual like old school DragonForce fan. I didn't get introduced to them till I heard Operation Ground and Pound, and then I heard that they changed singers, so I was like, when they do that, I kind of get, what's it going to sound like? Because that's how I was with Camelot. I go on and on about Camelot, but I love their change. But, you know, when you change singers, it just changes the band a little bit. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Let's go back and let's see. I'm sorry, I'm doing this on my iPod right now. So, DragonForce. So I do have The Power Within, which was actually the first album they did with Mark, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That one was released in 2012, and then of course Maximum Overload was actually one of my favorite albums. I love Three Hammers. That's probably one of my favorite songs, and I was very disappointed they didn't play that at the concert. But Three Hammers is my favorite song of all time from DragonForce. And then they came into, they did Reaching to Infinity, which I didn't really like that album as much. I liked Maximum Overload way better, so... Oh, is it Inhuman Rampage? Oh, Inhuman Rampage is where Through the Fire and the Flames came from. But I didn't quite get what Reaching to Infinity had, and then I was like, kind of like, not so crazy about this album. And then Extreme Power Metal came about, and I was just like, fell in love again. So, yeah, so this Extreme Power Metal is probably one of the best albums I've heard, and I have that album on repeat all the time. So, that is the end of my review for one of my bands, DragonForce, Extreme Power Metal. Now, if you guys have any questions about other bands that I listen to, I can definitely comment to you. If this is not your cup of tea, well, sorry. This, you know, I like doing this. This is my favorite genre of music of all time. I don't listen to much pop music. Actually, only person I listen to is Lady Gaga. That's about it. That's about it. But I want to do more videos like this to kind of change up my channel just a little bit more so that we can dive into different things and not have to do the same makeup stuff. You know, that makeup is one layer of me, but the deeper layer is my art and my music. So my music is part of me, and I want to share that with you guys in my channel. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is not at all, you know, if you're like, ugh, this is not my music, don't have to watch. You know, just click out of the video if you're not into it. But it could get you converted. You never know. So, definitely I will do more of these videos. My next one is probably going to be on the Burning Witches album, which came out on March 6th. It's their newest album. I am in love with this band. If it's not your cup of tea, I'm sorry. But Burning Witches is probably another album I want to review. It's came out March 6th, and it's called Dance with the Devil. So if you don't like stuff like that, don't watch it. But if you do like stuff like that, watch it. You know, I just, and I'm going to tell you, I just got introduced to Burning Witches. So if you're a Burning Witches hardcore fan, I apologize. I just want to give you my first impressions of the entire album. So my review on DragonForce was a little bit more in depth because well, not more in depth, but you know, it was more, I listen to it quite often, so I know how the album kind of plays out and what songs I like and what songs I don't like. Now, I will definitely do a first impressions on the entire Burning Witches album. I have heard 3 of their songs that came out before the album came out, so I will tell you that I'm not going to be like first impressions all the way, but I will be, pretty much. So yeah, any other bands that you guys listen to, I can maybe do a reaction video on them, or like check them out and see what it's all about. I'm not really familiar with how to do reaction videos and have a little screen here, so I will try and do something like that, or at least have some sort of reaction to it. But I do not listen to any pop music, rap music, or anything like that. No country music, no jazz. So I don't really think I'd have much knowledge in those genres as much as I do as heavy metal and power metal, symphonic metal, pirate metal. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about pirate metal. But there's different genres out there that I do like in the metal scene. It's mostly European-based bands, or bands from, you know, Sweden, UK, Canada. You know, there's really no metal bands that I like from the US. Really, absolutely. I don't think I do like anybody from the US. I really don't. So, because Camelot's really not based out of the US. They're more or less based out of US and Sweden, I would say. But anyways, yeah, so that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. If you like it, give me a good thumbs up, or, you know, horns up. I don't know. I'm such a nerd when it comes to these things. So definitely do give me a like and do subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one, and rock on.